Pro wrestling fanatics, welcome back to another hot topic episode of the 10 count. As always, I am that Art of the V to the V, Richard Bronson Vickery, joined on the other side of the screen by the man in the know. He's about where all the pros go to get their stories out there, Mr. John Poz. Welcome back to the show, brother.
RBV, thank you.
Yes, sir. Great to be back with you as we sit here and record a beautiful Saturday morning here on our neck of the woods, the where the world runs, Eastern Time Zone. You're there on the shore. I'm in the heartland of it all, the OHIO. This week, Poz, we've got some modern, up-to-date headlines. I know we like to pepper in the past, the present, the future. But we're going to talk about what's happening in the now. We got a lot of different companies that we're going to talk about. But Poz, to kick things off, since we sat down and recorded, kind of the biggest news that has been rocking the world of professional wrestling, and it is that the WWE has sold out WrestleMania. Yes, not this upcoming WrestleMania in 2026, but 2027. The showcase of the Immortals will be heading over to the desert, Saudi Arabia. Poz, what was your initial reaction as the story broke?
The initial reaction is like, wow, TKO. They are just whoever the highest bidder is. Boom, you got it. We'll take it. Hey, let's announce New Orleans. Oh, Vegas outbid them. Nope, Vegas it is. Hey, Boston, you are going to get John Cena, the hometown boy, his final match. Oh no, sorry, Washington D.C. outbid you. We're going to move that match. Oh, Saudi Arabia. What? How much more than Vegas? Oh, wait, what? $100 million? Over $100 million for one show? Oh, we'll just make it Super WrestleMania. We'll have another WrestleMania States. Saudi said, nope, we want the WrestleMania TKO sold out. NWO sold out style. Eric Bischoff style sold out. But, I mean, they're a publicly traded company. They're out for the almighty dollar. They're out for the shareholders. They're out for the dollars and cents. So I guess it makes sense, and they really just wanted to go in for the dollar. And I mean, what can you say? I wasn't going to Vegas anyway this year because it's way too much money. I'm definitely not going to Saudi Arabia because it's way too much money. Hopefully, it'll be on in the afternoon, and I get to enjoy it then. But man, what a whirlwind! Because it just seems like they'll just do anything for the almighty buck.
There's one interesting point that you hit on there, Poz, that I am 100% on board with you. And I do love when they go overseas for those things because in our old age, I am getting used to these afternoon shows. I'm okay with being in bed by 9. Absolutely. So that is, if there is any bright light to shine on this situation here, that is absolutely it. When this news broke, I have to admit, I was right there with the marks. I was furious. How could they do this? I mean, I'm okay with other shows, even one of the big, if you created the crown jewel, you're giving them the Rumble, okay, but WrestleMania belongs to the people. How could you do this? How could you sell us out? And then I had my senses. I came to my senses. They came in and just super kicked me in the side of the head, and the harsh realization about this: TKO did not buy the WWE to protect the sanctity of professional wrestling. They are not here for the families that made this sport such a great, grand spectacle that it is. They bought this just for that, to make as much money as freaking humanly possible. You've got a figure there, and I've heard between Mania and the Rumble, $350 billion for those two events to come to Saudi Arabia. There's not a whole lot in this world that I wouldn't do for that kind of money. And especially running a wrestling show over there. I think I'm going to get over some hurt feelings about that. That's what this thing is all about. I've had people tell me I'm crazy. I've been saying this for months now. TKO, WWE, they are no longer in the professional wrestling business. What are you talking about? What do you mean, RBV? Yes, pro wrestling is a product and a catalyst, but TKO is in the business of big time, big payday events, streaming distribution, and branding. Wrestling just happens to be a product for that. And if you don't believe me, here's the proof in the pudding that WrestleMania is going to Saudi Arabia. Now, Poz, with that, we've got all sorts of speculation because that dollar value, we've heard that's going to kind of be pending on what superstars make the trip over there. And we've got all those crazy stories in the past that the Saudis have requested matches from Yokozuna. So they just brought in a sumo guy. They requested the Warrior, who had been gone for a couple years. I'm sure that they probably got Hogan on the short list right now for the upcoming Saudi. So, Poz, looking at that crystal ball, that you've got over there? I know you're one of those mystical types. Looking at that crystal ball and let me know who is going to be headlining our headliners for WrestleMania Saudi.
Here's the crazy thing. So WrestleMania, they always bring in big names like The Rock, obviously a couple years ago. I know Cena's been a part of Mania, for a long time, but they obviously Cena was the main event last year. They're bringing guys, albeit which is a huge mistake, was terrible to bring guys like Travis Scott, who was world renowned. I mean, they'll always bring those big name celebrities, but it's like, wow, once Saudi gets involved, they're already contacting The Undertaker and Michaels to come out of retirement. They're already contacting all these big names. So to be honest, I kind of expect, I already heard this rumor, I expect Stone Cold Steve Austin to make his return here and be a Saudi headliner. And I am expecting The Rock. I don't know if they'll be wrestling each other, a tag match or something, but I'm expecting The Rock and Austin to have their returns and be kind of the Saudi headliners, if you will, because that's what they'll do. They'll literally give Austin, a boatload of money. Obviously, they'll give The Rock a boatload of money, and they'll have him put on a match. So I feel like they're going to go all out. I think Michael's already turned it down, saying he's retired, he's too old, and this and that.
That just means I need more money, pal.
I know Triple H physically, because his heart can't wrestle, so obviously he's out. But Undertaker is a possibility.
I just said there's not a whole lot I wouldn't do for that kind of money. We'll find out what Triple H's limit is. As you said, I've heard all the names that you had mentioned there, Kane, and you gotta believe that any and everyone that falls into that legends category is going to be chopping at the bit, blowing up emails, ready to kick in the door just to get an opportunity to be on that undercard. You got to believe, even like, someone like the Dudleys, the Hardys, Christian and Edge, we got a couple years. Hey, we'll go over there and recreate a TLC for you. We'll do that. So all these names, do you think we'll get a legend versus a legend in the main event? Or what if they took all of them and made like a legends team versus some of the young dogs and maybe go out there and take those bumps, create that movement and kind of a working match?
I could see a tag match or maybe a 6-man or something, but 2 legends on each side, and like maybe Cody on one side, Rollins on the other. Something of that ilk where there's legends and current guys mixed in, which wouldn't really have that Mania feel, but it would have those old huge names that the Saudis would absolutely love to have as headliners.
Absolutely, it's going to be interesting to see that who has sworn off that they're not going to lace those boots up anymore. That they're going to come out of the retirement for that big Saudi payday. You know what? At this point, I know they're going to get a lot of people mocking them for it, but hey, go get that money, get that coin. I mean, this could be like generational wealth for some of these individuals, especially just even getting on that undercard. Everyone's going to want to be a piece of that. Other big deals, happenings for the WWE. Hey, it is why we're sitting here recording. We are hours away from the debut. The partnership that seemed like just a dream, Poz. I always had hoped for it, but could it ever happen? WWE is heading to the sports mecca ESPN. Now, Poz, my question for you is, what are the expectations for ESPN, and not necessarily for WWE, but the mothership itself? What should ESPN expect from the wrestling world?
I feel like they're already all in. Like they're just obsessed. Like they're almost like over the top with it. Stephen A. Smith and Ryan Clark and all these people. I feel like their expectations are just not super high, but I feel like it's just that they just wanted the IP or the intellectual property. They just wanted to have another huge brand on the docket. They're doing it with MLB and MLB TV, with NFL, and then Red Zone. So it's like, oh, let's add WWE in this IP. And hey, let's fast forward. Even though fans aren't even ready, they don't even have the systems yet. Nothing's in place, and you got to get the triple bundle, or you can get it for free. Oh, but not yet. You got to wait. Like there's too much confusion, way too complicated. I feel like they rushed it just because they wanted to start saying we have WWE and we're going to have PLEs and we have WrestleMania and stuff. It just feels like their expectations. I don't know, they might be kind of like in the middle, but the way that they're like promoting it and pumping it up, it's over the top. It's just too much. But I feel like it's not going to reach that level of where they want it to, because I don't think everybody's in line. I don't think everybody even has ESPN yet, this unlimited app.
Well, you throw in there, the key word is confusion so far. And this has been, they have hot shot at this. We weren't supposed to get this until 2026. A lot of people were expecting, or especially around WrestleMania. WWE frees up their dates, their obligations with Peacock, and we immediately get this move. I was kind of taken back because it didn't seem like ESPN was actually pushing it for a while. Now, this past week, yeah, they went all in on it. No pun intended. They wanted to make sure, hey, we have got this great special event. You do not want to miss this. You look at the card. They have stacked this thing with some superstar names, some big matches to draw some individuals in. As you said, this week has been packed. They are top to bottom, every show, every sports center. Even, the NFL games have made mention of it. They want you to know this product is here. And I think the point is not so much that they're trying to pull in the wrestling fan to get, go invest their money here, which has been such the uproar on our side of things. ESPN wants the sports fan, a lapsed fan, those that already that have the app. They want them to be aware that it's there so that hopefully they go check it out as one of these many, many features a la cartes that are available here on the ESPN app. But when we talk about that confusion, right now there is the thing, well, if you have a Spectrum or different providers, YouTube TV, that you'll be able to access the ESPN app as part already of what your payment plan is. Now, it's looking like a good deal. Those majority of those are not going to be available quite yet until later in the year. So they're going to potentially miss out on WrestlePalooza. Interesting here, we were talking about this before we got to record. ESPN did put this out, and we're talking about that crossover, the audience overlap about those. 84% of WWE fans are NFL fans, 73 are NBA fans, 72 are MLB fans, and then 66 are college football fans. So they're saying that there is that common ground that everybody here is going to enjoy this. I thought a lot of these numbers were low. I was kind of taken back. Like, are we living in a world now of professional wrestling where are we that nerdy now? We're just paying attention to Dungeons and Dragons and comic books and not real sports?
Possible. It's definitely possible nowadays. That's for sure. I almost feel like that number might be a little high, to be honest. I feel like less WWE fans like the NFL and stuff and other sports, but maybe
I still think with ESPN taking, putting out that numbers here, and really what they had paid for the WWE, a drop in a bucket to them. Like you said, they just want more a la carte on that menu that they're offering to get people over to the app. So we'll see a little bit of fade. Hey, people really might enjoy the spectacle of professional wrestling. It is a tremendous show. If you love that kind of energy, and that's what they're looking for, more events that are similar to that of the NFL, even regular season, but more so, like the Super Bowl, national championship, something like that. And if there's anything that WWE can do, it is production and big pops. And that's what they're bringing over with them.
Definitely.
Speaking of, we'll stay on business here, but we'll switch gears a little bit. In the WWE, we have got 2 championships, our top champions there. One held by Cody Rhodes, the other by Seth Rollins. Mr. Poz, I want to get your thoughts on this one. As in this world, making big deals with the Saudis, ESPN, everywhere they go, Netflix. Which one of our champs is best for business there?
Easy for me anyway. Cody Rhodes by a country mile over Seth.
Okay.
Seth is not really a draw. I don't know if maybe he's necessarily good for business just as far as being that heel that the top baby faces like Punk and Reigns can work with. But he is the Triple H, if you will. He's the guy that works with the guy. He's not the draw. He's the guy that works with the draw. So he's not really good for business in that sense. But he is good because he's good in the ring. He can kind of carry a feud. He can generate some heat and make people want to pay for him to get beat up. So in essence, that is good for business in a certain aspect. But Cody is like the workhorse here. He's the guy that draws the money. He's the guy that sells a ton of merch. He's the guy that sold $1 million in merch in 3 days or whatever it was at WrestleMania last year, or I think, excuse me, the year before. So, but it was just crazy, just the amount of business that he generates and how he's great for business. Because even when people said, "Oh, it was a bad title run. It was generic. It was too predictable after he beat Roman Reigns," business did nothing but go up. So it's like, okay, maybe that's all true, but obviously everybody want to pay to see Cody win and beat all these guys, and pay for his autograph and all, everything else, pay for his weight belt and everything, all his merch. So Cody by far is best for business and usually generates pretty good business when he's champ. He proved it in the past, and hopefully he's going to prove it again.
Also, the The most positive thing about Seth Rollins is that he does have one of those you want to see, but you will pay to see him get punched in the face. That is his greatest draw. Now, Rollins is a workhorse. He's going to go out there, give you his top effort night in, night out. He doesn't miss a lot of time. I know he's had some of those extended injuries, but he's quick to get back. He doesn't seem to, when he is fine, to take a lot of time away. So that is a positive for him. You make the comparison to Triple H. I've made that in the past. On paper, incredible resumes. Looks amazing, but not really a game changer. Misses that it factor. On the other side with Cody Rhodes, and he took that long road, no pun intended there, and he did it the right way to go out there, that grassroots, really touch and connect with the people. And his greatest attribute, which is damn near impossible to match in today's professional wrestling scene, is that he can actually get over as a true babyface. And it is that connection with the audience, being able to move the merch, tell the stories, and he is so good when it comes to going out on that PR trail. Very personable, great charisma about him. So, yeah, Cody Rhodes, absolutely best for business there. I wish, though, is that graphic there? I wish you had like a good Seth Rollins impression, because it looks like he's just joining there on the screen there with that.
Oh, yeah. You're right. That's true. Like perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's switch a little gears, and we'll make that smooth transition into, all of these big events for WWE are going to be coming from ESPN, our PLEs. Well, on the other side of things, AEW has announced a big deal recently where it's HBO Max, correct, that they're going to be having their pay-per-views, PLEs, available through their streaming service. Plus, with WrestlePalooza, we also have All Out. Let's talk a little bit about the strategies, the successes, the failures behind WWE versus AEW PLEs, pay-per-views, if you will.
It is interesting. It's going to be $40 on Max. So obviously you pay $10 a month for Max, and then you buy for $40. You're saving $10 essentially in pay-per-view, but you are also paying $10 a month to have Max. I know you're watching Sopranos and The Wire and everything else. So that's just a little interesting little wrinkle in it, if you will. You basically, if you want to order it and you have Max, I would obviously order the pay-per-view on Max and not spend an extra $50 because you're already paying the $10 to have Max. So just order it on Max if you have it for $40. But it is interesting with All Out. I just think that it's not, I don't know. I'm not interested in it really. It doesn't intrigue me. I know a lot of AEW fans were loving it and kind of pump it up. I'm not feeling it at all, to be honest. I'm way more interested, I would say, in WrestlePalooza than I would be in All Out.
Well, with the strategies, I mean, that is the easiest one because we are right now in that moment, and it is. But the strategies. So AEW, they have shifted to earlier during the head-to-head, but overall, their pay-per-view model is we're going to give you a ton of content.
Yeah,
they're going to run. So let's go back to like All Out, the last big show. Great success, sell at the stadium. Buys were through the roof, but a long show. And we're going to talk about it a little bit more here. WWE compacts it. We're going to hit you with some stars. We're going to spread out our matches, not going to give them all to you at once. Boom, boom, boom. You're in and out. I can understand Tony's mindset. Not that I agree with it. I'm just trying to make sense of it. He's saying if you're going to invest that, I'm going to give you maximum content that I can.
It is one of those things where you definitely get what you pay for with AEW for the most part. They usually put on good pay-per-views. It's usually a long show, so that's good. I like the WWE thing because you do spread it out more. And AEW already, people are like, well, what could be the main event for the next show? Like they don't have, you know what I mean? They don't have like the next thing. WWE, they got so much things where they just kind of almost maybe spread it out too long or too much. But I feel like you can do that, and they only have 5 matches, which means that Saturday night's main event they could have 5. I like that strategy a lot more. And I got to be honest, I can't sit through 5 hours. That's just crazy. And that one show went 7 hours. Can't do it.
That actually brings us our long as fudge AEW events. As you said, coming up, as we're sitting here recording, we're about 2 hours away from the pre-show for All Out. That's going to be at 1 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, they have a 1 hour special, which will be free on Max and TNT. Then at 3 o'clock, they will run into their event. So that's going to be till about 7 o'clock. So I guess 4 or 5. We're at 6 hours there. They are going to overrun this just like they did All Out or All In to kind of counter program WWE start. So going back to that Texas show, I believe at the end of the day, they had like 9 hours of content.
Yeah.
Now that inside of itself, could you imagine sitting in that arena for that long? I'll give that crowd. They seemed pretty energized, but to me, what a commitment, an exhausting commitment.
Way too long. Just completely zap the crowd, it's terrible. Way too long. Could never do that. Could never sit through that. No way. It's too long.
So with our last topic, you make that comparison with WWE, they do. So we've got 5-6 matches a show, but half the champions aren't there. A good deal of the roster isn't. This one blew me away. So going into All Out Toronto, there's 11 matches announced. There's over 50 talents being used on
13
that
now.
show. 13 matches.
So yeah, it's 60 talents. Yeah, they pumped it up. Yeah.
And that's just the wrestlers and the managers. That's not the referees. And they what show's on when you got to rotate out the commentary team, give them restroom breaks throughout the thing.
Yep.
So again, obviously there's somebody that likes this. They're spending their entire day with it. They're getting a variety of this. In addition to that, though, now we go back to Wednesday. So I've got to get invested here at 13 matches all day long, 7 hours today, if I want to watch all of AEW. And you just gave me a heavily wrestling bell-to-bell packed Dynamite 3 hours. I'm committing 10 plus hours to you that week. You've got to give me a chance to breathe, to kind of digest, consume what you just fed me, and then make me want more instead of just stuff me like a pig where I don't even want to look at you anymore.
Yep.
Be interesting. Less is more.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. If you do less, I think you get people coming back wanting more. You do more, everyone gets fatigued, and it's like, oh, come on.
Well, there has been some rumblings, talks. We see them go head to head, and it's usually that WWE is the one that makes the later announcement, forces Tony to kind of shift his gears, if you will. Like they're going earlier today to kind of avoid that head to head. Well, it has been discussed. Tony Khan was asked about this, about potentially with a outrage with the WrestleMania going to Saudi. And he said that he is very interested in running a major show in the spring of 2027. What would you say, Poz? What do you think the success rate, or is it just crazy to attempt something like this for AEW to run a blockbuster event opposed to WrestleMania?
If WrestleMania is in the States and if WWE is in the States,
Saudi, we'll go with the Saudi one.
Well, I was going to say that would be a huge mistake. If it's in Saudi, I would do it 100%. I think that's a great opportunity, even for the indie shows to kind of latch on. In the WrestleCons to kind of latch. I feel like you'd get a huge buzz just from that alone of everybody wanting to have something stateside during Mania, because nobody's really going to make the trip. Although Game Changer Wrestling was saying they might go to Saudi and that there have been opportunities out there. So maybe there will be indie shows in 2027 for Mania and Game Changer wrapped around us. Would be interesting. But I think you got to do it if you're Tony. Have to be honest. I think it would be great. And I think it would be something unique where it's like, wow, they're putting on this huge show. They're finally fighting back and not kowtowing to WWE, and like they're the ones counterpunching and maybe hitting a knockout or at least a knockdown blow.
Yeah, and I like we've been very vocal on the Hameen Media Group platform that all is fair in love, war, and professional wrestling, and we've been encouraging Tony Khan and his team to fight back, to hit WWE in the numbers. And come up and speak out, where one company has said, we're not here for the families and the average fan anymore. We need a higher ticket platform. This is our new target audience here. And AEW should go the other way. We're here for everybody. We're here for the guy that just needs to kick back, blow off some steam, and live vicariously for us. You can bring the family to our show and not spend $1,000. We have got you covered on that. This is for the wrestling fan. And if they want to sell out what we know is your show, WrestleMania, to the Saudis, then we're going to pick up the slack for you. Go to New York City, maybe the UK, one of them, because you could draw there as well. I think those are great travel destinations for a lot of the wrestling fans. Put together some packages, put together the conventions, invite the indie promotions over, and throw truly a fan festival and celebration of professional wrestling, and try to just stick it right there to WWE and all that they're doing.
Yep.
That might have been a hit here on our next topic here, but I know you've got some deeper, wiser words, Poz, for him here. Give this guy, Mr. Tony Khan, give him one good piece of advice for professional wrestling right now.
I would, and even kind of piggyback on that, and I was thinking about this, I would even go as far as to say, like, he actually came out and said they're very fan friendly and whatever. I would even like kind of make it a campaign. You know, WWE would do those corny campaigns, like get the F out and stuff like that. They should do like a commercial, little 30-second, 15-second campaign, and like fan friendly, but can include their stars in it, but like do a package or do some sort of commercial, do some sort of campaign where you're promoting that hey, 4 tickets and you can come to the show and we're family friendly, and hey, and the other guys are charging you $200 pop and you're sitting in the nosebleed, like some sort of kind of jokey campaign, not necessarily attacking WWE, but really kind of bring to the forefront that you guys are more fan friendly and you can attract more fans to your shows because they can afford it, because they're not millionaires that WWE thinks they are, and they're not making Vince McMahon look like baby faces like Mark Shapiro is. Stuff like that. Like you gotta do something like that. I think that would be cool.
But you know what? Luckily, Poz, you are sitting here in the studio with one of the great marketing minds of professional wrestling right here. So I've got a campaign for you. Like you had mentioned, get the F out. What we're going to do is AEW is going to give a big FU to the WWE. But that FU stands that wrestling is for us. FU for us. AEW is for us, the people. Now, if I had an opportunity to sit down with Mr. Khan, I'd look him right in the eye wholeheartedly, so sincerely, and let him know, Tony, you have the opportunity to be the savior of professional wrestling. Yes, you, sir. You hold all the power, and it could change the entire game. And if you love wrestling like you claim you do, please, sir, hire the right people to do the jobs that need to be done. Treat this as an entertainment company. Put together a true front office of true business practices, marketing, media. Let those people do those jobs. When it comes to the wrestling side, go get those brilliant minds. Go get somebody, roll the dice, give an opportunity to our boy, Ben Hameen, to go out there and do things that have not been done before. If you want a familiar name, go out, get a Bully Ray. Just hand those responsibilities over to people that have been there and done that. Delegate, brother, and you can sit back and reap all of that greatness and praise from the fans because you allowed these people to build your company up and you saved professional wrestling. That's what I tell Mr. Cotton there. Hey, we said we were gonna talk all sorts of promotions here. We're almost hitting everybody. We're touching everybody here, Poz. You even threw in some game changer wrestling, but some potential big news coming here for Total Nonstop Action, TNA. And I got this off the wire from my boy, Frito Scoops, William Alicia. And he says this damn deal is about done. This is TNA to the CW. That's a big, big deal for TNA, Poz.
No doubt helped out by WWE and NXT and that relationship and them being able to do that. But yet, this is great for TNA. If it does indeed go down, it looks like it should and hopefully does. I feel like nothing but home run for them. Really, finally, been dying to get on the network, and CW is a damn good one. So finally, TNA has possibly landed this deal for basically the first time of a major company since they basically were on Spike.
Well, I was going to say, actually, this kind of makes sense playing along. You got NXT and TNA, a special PLE. So it is confirmed internally is what we're getting those reports. And that would kind of spin off into the TNA, the announcement of them getting their own time slot, their own spot there. CW, you talk about making some investments here. They're in with TKO, but we got some football. We got bull riding.
Yeah.
We got
They're going all
wrestling.
in. Yep.
Dude, they are like the redneck blue collar sports network over there, man. They have got you covered. We get 4 TNA. This would be massive open air station, huge reach for home reach, their viewership to really get out there. I think this would be bigger than any deal that they've had in the past.
Yeah, minus Spike probably. Yeah.
I mean, still just a cable, and Spike was rather small back then. So I mean, your potential reach here is amazing. I'm still surprised with the CW demographic, a huge Hispanic reach audience that we haven't seen WWE try to get triple in there. Hey, but who says they don't? Maybe we get like 3 different promotions on there. But I would implore you, CW, if you get all this wrestling, bring back some Saturday morning wrestling. As I'm sitting here watching TV in the mornings, I love to have that that feeling of going back from Superstars and Challenge. Well, Poz, another great episode here on the 10 count. We're about to the finish line, brother, and you know what that means. It's time for the pop of the week. And I'm not gonna let you down. We were talking about a whole bunch of promotions, so I got one more to throw in there on this big episode that we just had. Keyword big here, brother. And you saw this, the great for the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton. He won the Battle Royal Championship over at Juggalo Championship Wrestling, of course, run by the Insane Clown Posse. Look at that belt. That's big time there, brother. Big time win for a big time legend, Mr. Ricky Morton. Hey, a little thing out there. If you ever can hear an interview with Ricky Morton, stop what you're doing and listen to it. Entertaining as hell and knowledge beyond belief. All right there, fanatics. Thanks for watching us here on the 10 Count. We'll be back with you next week. John Poz, Rick Vickery. We'll see you later.